Waltz's coordination with Netanyahu on Iran strike contributed to his firing. U.S. President Donald Trump was angered by his recently ousted National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, hawkish position on Iran in coordination with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on military options to destroy Tehran's nuclear program, contributing to his dismissal last week, according to a Saturday report. Citing senior officials and Trump advisors, the Washington Post reported that Trump's frustration with Waltz grew over time ahead of his firing. According to the report, Trump's displeasure with Waltz came even before the Signalgate affair, in which he was blamed for accidentally adding the editor of The Atlantic to a group chat on the Signal messaging app describing details of an imminent U.S. bombing campaign in Yemen. The report said he clashed with White House officials since early in the administration, specifically over his preference for using military force against Iran instead of his diplomatic route that Trump favored. Last week, Trump dismissed Waltz as National Security Advisor and announced his nomination as the next U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, while Secretary of State Marco Rubio was named as his interim replacement. Two of the people quoted by the Washington Post said Mike Waltz upset the U.S. president by engaging in what the report described as intense coordination with Netanyahu on possible military options for Iran prior to the premier's White House meeting with Trump in February. Waltz wanted to take U.S. policy in a direction Trump wasn't comfortable with because the U.S. hadn't attempted a diplomatic solution, one of the sources said. It got back to Trump, and the president wasn't happy with it, the person continued. If Jim Baker was doing a side deal with the Saudis to subvert George H.W. Bush, you'd be fired, the report added, quoting a senior advisor to Trump who was referring to the former Secretary of State and White House Chief of Staff.
So, I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm surprised he just didn't get rid of him altogether. But I mean, it's, they strike again. Look, he's making a backdoor deal with Mike Waltz. But that just shows you that Donald Trump he's kept out of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because they probably talked his way out of this one. But there's so many things that they're doing he doesn't even know about. And the news has confirmed that. So
who does this sound like to you? Who they try to make like they didn't know anything, and there was all kind of other presidents running the show, and Obama was in the basement.
The deep state.
No, Biden. This is the they try to talk about. He didn't know anything. He was just signing papers. He didn't know what was going on. Every time they talk to Trump, he doesn't know anything because he got a bunch of people who are not really. They sit there and they smile and they yes sir, and they speak him up great in his face, but they get behind his back and they go make deals with Benjamin Netanyahu. The reason why he probably wasn't fully fired and was sent to the United Nations because he probably had people who were like, hey, no. You ain't going to fire him, but you can send him somewhere else. You ain't going to disrespect because he had a deal set up with Benjamin Netanyahu to go and speak on his behalf. I don't know if you guys ever watched The Godfather before. It wasn't exactly this way, but when the guy came in to talk to Don Corleone about selling drugs, you know what I mean, and they saw that Sonny stepped in and was like, hey, I think it might be a good idea, you know what I mean, like tried to like speak up on his behalf after the Don said no. After that, the Don admonished his son, like, don't ever go against the family. You know what I mean? In front of another person. And this is what ended up happening here. He sees this man right here is basically going behind his back, making a deal with Benjamin Netanyahu, then sitting in a room with him and preaching Benjamin Netanyahu's point of view to him while Benjamin Netanyahu was in the room. Who's your allegiance lie with at that point in time?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, but that's the whole thing is like there's so much stuff going on. He's like, I don't even know what's happening. And so he's old and senile. He can get on there like, hey, we're going to let him tweet and do whatever he needs to do.
He's the clown show.
Yeah.
He's the clown show. He's the entertainment. He's the person out front. Oh, yeah, let him go ahead and yuck it up. They all love that. He gets to yuck it all up, but they got a bunch of deals going on behind his back that he has no clue about what's going on at all. He won't even take accountability for it, but I didn't know that was happening. I didn't hear nothing about that. And so he thinks he can just sit there and be like a normal citizen and be like, well, I didn't know what they was doing, so that's not on me. No, you're the president of the United States. People are making deals in your name. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just crazy, man. Just crazy. And I guess we're going to keep you up to date on all the backdoor deals and all the stuff that people don't know about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Uncommon Courtesy. Until next time.